Hello everyone, I am MCMILLEN OTOH. I hope everyone is in pink and please take care of yourself while we are facing this pandemic COVID-19. Today, I am going to talk on the pollination strategy of flowers. Okay, before we start, something to ponder. Where wise actions are the fruits of life, wise discourse is the pollination. It is a famous quote by Brian McGill. So what is actually pollination? Pollination is a process of transferring pollen grains from the male reproductive organ of the flower that we call the female reproductive organ of the same or different flower of the same species that we call as the stigma. So basically today I'm going to discuss on three types of flowers that are the sunflower, or we known as the flower of life, for it resembles the sun as the main source of energy for all living organisms on the earth. And we have here is the water lily. It is an aquatic beauty that represents peace, purity and fertility. And lastly, we have Baltic rush. Baltic rush is a type of grass that has an attractive flower. So, the first flower that I'm going to discuss for today is Helianthus anus, or the sunflower. It is a large yellowish herbaceous type of plant. The sunflower has yellowish bright flower, scented and very fragrant. The flower also produces nectar to attract insect pollinators or the entomophily. This form undergoes either self-pollination or cross-pollination to reproduce. The transfer of the pollens by wind is refrained due to the fact that the pollens is very sticky and quite heavy. The self-pollination in sunflower is called as the Fel Cell Mechanism, while the cross-pollination is aided by insect pollinator or called as the entomophily. Fel Cell Mechanism. The Fel Cell Mechanism is only occur if cross-pollination is failed. Okay, if you can see in the first diagram here, the stigma is dead. What happens if cross-pollination occurs is that the stigma will recoil back or twist and wrap itself with the pollens that is in its surrounding, either the style or the. This mechanism is categorized as self-pollination. The sunflower is entomophilous. It is because the pollination of the sunflower is aided by insect pollinators or entomophily. The sunflower has unique floral arrangement and the flower opening sequence is the visit of the insect pollinators. So how cross-pollination is actually occurred for the sunflower? Basically, when the honeybees visit the flower, the pollens will attach on the legs, hair of the honeybees. This is called as the pollen collection area. When the bees transfer or visit another flower, the pollens will detach and this pollen will be attached to the receptive stigma. Okay, the second flower that I'm going to talk about today is water lily or Nymphaeaceae odorata. Nymphaeaceae odorata is an aquatic beauty that always represents purity, fertility, and peace. Water lily always come with various color, basically white, pinkish white, or sometimes even purple. And this flower is also very scented and fragrant, and it also produces nectar that always attracts entomophilies. The pollination in water lily is actually aided by insect pollinators or entomophilies. Okay, but there's one unique and special about this mechanism, that is the entrapment method. As you know, water lily is a floating flower, but inside the flower in a bowl that is full with viscous liquid. What is actually this viscous liquid do? This viscous liquid will trap any insect pollinators that visit the flower. So inside this viscous liquid is actually composed of a compound that is called as surfactants. Surfactants is a compound that able to lower the surface tension of the liquid. So basically, any insect or any materials that is on the surface of the liquid will tend to submerge down due to the lower surface tension of the liquid. So how actually the entrapment happened? Okay, when the entomophili, like beetle or bees, visit the flower, they will arrive on the surface of the liquid. Okay, surfactants will lower the surface tension of the liquid and causing the insects to be submerged into the liquid. Okay, when the insect already submerged into the liquid, the stamens that is surround the bowl of the liquid will bend inward under the weight of the insects. It is also due to the fact that the stamens are flexible. Okay, and then the liquid will wash away all the pollens that is attached on the body of the insects, and these pollens will migrate to the respective stigma. Okay, the third flower that I'm going to talk today is Baltic rush, or we call it as Junicus balticus. Junicus balticus is a type of grass with an attractive flower. The Junicus balticus flower has several characteristics, that is, the pollens are produced in large number. The flower also, as you can see, is less color, and this flower is unscented, fragrant, and it is lack of nectar production. And the pollens also very light, and thus the flower also has long stamens and pistils. So due to the fact that the flower didn't produce nectar, entomophiles like beetles or bees will not visit the flower. Due to the fact that the flower won't produce nectar, thus entomophily like bees or beetles will not visit the flower. So how actually these pollen grains being transferred is that due to the fact that the pollens are very light, thus it facilitates in wind transfer. The light pollens will be easily being blown by the wind. The wind will blow the pollens from the anther of a flower to the stigma of another flower. As if you can see, the Junicus balticus is around 0.22 millimeter in diameter size. Before I end my presentation for today, I recap several few things that is important in my discussion today. So the sunflower undergo self-pollination and cross-pollination. The self-pollination is by recoiling of the stigma when cross-pollination is failed, while the cross-pollination is facilitated by insect pollinators. The transfer of water lily pollen grains also by insect pollinators. However, the insect will be trapped by the viscous liquid of the water lily to wash away all the pollens. For the Baltic rush, since the flower didn't produce nectar, so entomophily will not visit the flower. However, the pollen grains are very adaptive. They are very light and produced in large amount that is very easily being blown by the wind. I dedicated to some resources for my discussion for today. And in case you have any inquiry on my presentation for today, you can reach me out through my email or my WhatsApp. Thank you for your kind attention.